So that's where we're at in the business. But, I mean, there's also some of these contracts that were signed. I know people who I've heard what their contracts were, and I'm not gonna name names, but I can tell you that there was one guy who I know personally who had signed a 3-year deal for $1 million and shouldn't have been paid even half that. So good for him that he got the money.
Right.
But when you're throwing away around crazy money like that, when it's unnecessary, and plus flying the guy around and he's got to go to events and do everything else.
Yeah, represent.
Apparently, part of his contract was that he had to fly first class wherever he was going.
A lot of people do that.
But I mean, it's ridiculous.
But usually that's a trade. Usually there's some sort of trade.
It wasn't a trade. The guy was still making $333,000 per year. So, but I mean, that's the kind of waste that I'm talking about.
Well,
and this guy wasn't even a TV guy. He was a writer. So that's what I'm talking about. So, and again, I don't begrudge. If you can get it, hey, more power to you. But at the same time, if you're getting that, you can't expect that to last forever. Sure. Not especially in this day and age.
We're going to take a break right now. You're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC. If you'd like to call in and make a comment about anything going on in the world of sports, 516-572-7440.
Answer me. Who taught you to listen to Radio Rumble at 12 p.m. on Saturday afternoons?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
I'd
buy that for $1.
The Radio Rumble has it all.
Humanity will suffer with me.
Movie reviews.
No kind of Sandys, you're wrong.
Sports talk.
Hi, sports fans. I'm Doug Prish-Preed.
Awesome music.
Excellent!
So listen, Saturday afternoons at 12 p.m. for The Radio Rumble on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
I learned it by watching you.
Okay. Yo.
Tell your friends about the Nassau Morning Madhouse. Hear what you're missing.
Check it out.
So we have to talk about weddings. If you're going to the wedding, you need to bring a drone with you. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Why?
Because that apparently is the hot gift to give at a wedding right now.
Oh, to give. Okay.
I thought apparently money is so 2016. We don't do money.
Give me
anymore.
money.
Money is the out thing, and now you need to give gifts, including outdoor pizza ovens.
Outdoor pizza ovens.
Yes, or games including Scrabble, which makes no sense to me. Why would you give Scrabble as a wedding gift?
I would never want a drone.
Yeah, let me tell you right now. If I get married and somebody gives me a drone or Scrabble, not to be ungrateful, but I'm going to be pissed. For real, like
you'll spell it out with the right number of letters to make sure you can get the triple word score.
Nassau Morning Madhouse. Weekday mornings at 9. Yeah. On the voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
You know the feeling when you hear sounds of hip-hop and reggae? Well, you're in for a treat. It's flavorful.
What?
Extraordinary.
Really?
And mind-blowing.
It's saucy.
Tune into It's Saucy, where I cook up and dish out the latest news in hip-hop and reggae. There will be interviews with artists and students, along with trending topics on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. This is your voice for all things saucy.
Ooh, saucy.
You don't want to miss out. This is DJ Steph. Woo! Listen to me on Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
You want the news? You can't handle the news.
Dude, that's a little dramatic, don't you think?
News, wherefore art thou news?
Still dramatic.
It was the best of news, it was the worst of news.
Seriously?
All right, I give up. It's just the news.
Get all the day's news all in one place. All from the students at the voice of Nassau Community College.
My mama always said life was like a box of news. You never know what you're going to get.
Unbelievable.
The WHPC 4:30 News Wrap-Up. Weekday afternoons at, 4:30 on 90.3 WHPC.
.3 FM. Why? You don't like ABBA?
I have to stop. Where did you get this music from?
It's ABBA, man.
Who cares?
Bono called ABBA one of the great bands of all time.
What Bono know?
You love Bono. Bono is the king, man.
Bono was probably Probably had a few Guinnesses in him when he said that.
Yeah, then he talks about Mike Peters, and then he's a
And
genius.
he knows what he's talking about.
You know.
That's when he's sober.
Yeah, okay. By the way, this is what Hank Steinbrenner said, according to the Daily News. Christian Red wrote this. He goes, I wasn't disconfident for this year. I've told everyone, look, we're going to do all right this year. We're going to be even better next year, maybe by a mile. As it turns out, we're doing really good this year with a mix of young players and veterans we have now.
Disconfident?
Disconfident. I wasn't disconfident.
I don't know if that's a word.
I don't think it is either.
Does it have like a little SIC next to it?
No, it says DIS-CONFIDEENT. So you're the writer, so.
I don't know. I know for a fact I've never used that word.
I think Hank just trademarked it.
He might have, just like Roger Clemens trademarked misremembering.
And there's a picture. You love that picture of Hank. It's on the website. Look at him. I love Hank. Look at that. He's like holding court on the golf course. They were doing. You know what they do? This past week there was some sort of golf tournament. And you know what they do? A lot of
the
old
Tory
players.
Foundation?
I don't know if it was Tory because they had a nice article on Reggie Jackson a little bit and stuff like that. So Reggie was talking about a couple of things.
Could have been the Old Timers thing, but I don't know.
No,
Old Timers Day isn't for a couple of weeks, so it wouldn't have been.
So Hank was there. So you got to talk to Hank.
If he's there and he's willing to open his mouth, hey.
I thought they purposely blocked him.
Turn on the tape recorder.
Yeah. Anyway, let's continue to talk NBA. Warriors
titles.
are leading.
We got titles. We got a title last night. We might have another title tonight.
They're leading 3-1, and let's be honest. Game 3. I mean, I watched Game 3. I didn't watch Game 4. Game 3. Man, you think that the Cavaliers are going to finally win it, and then
they should have. No reason they shouldn't have won that game.
Slopped away. And again, what's with players when they have time taking a 3-pointer when a 2-pointer would be just as good?
A lot of times, 2-pointers better.
Yeah,
guys get lazy. That's the one thing I don't like about the 3-pointer. And I've said this on the show before. The 3-pointer can take you out of a game just as quickly as it gets you back into a game. And you'll notice at the end of games when a team is down, if they're trying to get back in the game, and all you have to do is miss 3 or 4 threes in a row, and you're done. And because the other team, chances are they're coming back on a fast break, they're getting buckets, and now all of a sudden the 8-point lead all of a sudden is 14.
Yep.
And now you're chucking threes just because you got to try to get shots up and get points. But that is the danger of the 3-pointer.
I agree.
And that's what Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland should have just been getting points, and they should have been not necessarily running clock down, because I don't like it when teams do that either. When they take 17 or 18 seconds off the clock, and now you have 6 seconds left, and you try and like you have LeBron kind of freelance.
Right.
That's not the way to get things done. But just play your regular offense, and if you score after say 15 seconds, hey, fine. As long as you get a basket, make sure you get a good shot. Don't just stand on the perimeter dribbling the ball and all right, well, I'll go when there's 7 seconds. No, that's not the way you do it.
Yeah.
Work your offense and get points. But that was why the Cavaliers blew that game, because the Warriors made threes and they got the Durant shot was ridiculous. And that was against LeBron. LeBron was the guy who was back below the 3-point line, and Durant was able to just walk right into that shot. And I don't know if you saw the replay. That hit nothing but net. And that was a good step behind the 3-point line too. It wasn't even like his toe was right near it. He was a good 8-9 inches behind the line.
Yeah, there was some really good playing. And the only thing about Cleveland winning Game 4, it prevents this record, 16 in a row without a loss.
Game 4 was old school basketball.
Yeah,
that was
a
brutal game.
That was
guys beating the hell out of each other.
That's old Charles Oakley, Patrick Ewing,
crazy
Anthony Mason type
foul.
of game.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Crazy technical fouls. Everybody thought Draymond Green was thrown out of the game, and then all of a sudden the refs were like, "Oh yeah, no, that technical foul in the first quarter, that was on Steve Kerr." Oh, okay. Why didn't anybody know? Jeff Van Gundy at one point said something to the effect of, "This is like a real black eye for the NBA." And he was 100% correct, because the referees had no control of the game whatsoever. Guys were just all over each other. Guys were hacking each other. There was all kinds of physical contact, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But when guys are starting to fight and it's getting to that point.
Right.
You can't have it. I mean, Cleveland scored 49 points in the first quarter. That's insane.
It is.
The Knicks don't score 49 points and a half.
Not for a long time.
And this is against the Warriors.
Right.
So you knew once that happened that, okay, Cleveland finally came to play a game.
Right.
And they're not going to get blown out like they got blown out in the first two games and like they had game 3 stolen from them. But they allowed it to be stolen from them. But now we're in a situation where that's the way the Warriors have to play. Can they do it 3 more games in a row? And
you mean Cleveland?
I mean, no, can Cleveland play that? Yeah, Cleveland play that way 3 games in a row? I don't think any team can play at that level 3 games in a row. I don't think it's possible. Kyrie Irving in Game 4 was insane. But that being said, that's how he played in the last 3 games last season when Cleveland rallied from the 3-1 deficit.
Right.
Is it possible for Golden State to win the first 3 and then lose the last 4? I don't want to sit here and say, well, it's over, and give Golden State the trophy based on what happened last season. You can't just dismiss what Cleveland accomplished last season. That being said, and we said this last week, Golden State didn't have Kevin Durant last year. And he has shown himself in this series to be enough of a difference where I can't see Golden State losing 3 in a row. But if they do, it's going to be because Cleveland has played 3 more games like they did the other night.
Right.
And Kyrie Irving especially goes out of his mind and scores another 40 points and does what he did. He was insane. And that, but again, that's the way he played last season in games 5, 6, and 7. So, LeBron is going to be LeBron. He's probably going to get more triple doubles, or if not, he'll get 35 points, 12 rebounds and 9 assists instead of the triple double.
Yeah.
He'll be close to it in every category.
I think I think tonight we see Golden State.
I think so. I think that Golden State ends it tonight because if you look at the series, I think Golden State has to look at it as we need to put this thing away tonight. Because if we don't, all right, now we have to go back to Cleveland for Game 6.
Right.
And who wants that? Who wants that grief? Who wants all those stories being written where it's going to be, is last year happening all over again? Right. And then you're in a situation where Cleveland is expected to win Game 6, and now you're in the same situation you were last year, except instead of being 3-1 down like they were last year, this year it was 3-0. So it makes it even harder, and it's a situation that how many teams have ever come back from 3-0 deficits in sports history? It's incredibly
Well, in
rare.
basketball, I can't think of many.
I mean, it's happened in hockey 4 times. I know the Islanders did it a couple of times. Yep. But it's incredibly rare.
Yeah.
So I don't see it happening. I don't think it's going to be as easy as some people say it is. That being said, though, I really do. I think the Warriors win tonight and finish it because they know what's at stake and they know what happened last season. So the last thing they want to happen is for Cleveland to pick up any kind of momentum and to have to deal with those ghosts from last year and have to deal with repeating what happened last year.
And the thing, you think, Steve Kerr. Was Steve Kerr?
Steve Kerr, yeah.
The reason I say Steve Kerr is because there was an actress named Debbie Kerr spelled the name same way.
Okay.
It's like Leonard. Sometimes people say Leonard.
All right. Get the point.
You think he regrets not signing with the Knicks?
No. Are you kidding me?
Our lives are made out of decisions, and that is one of the great decisions of all time.
For Steve Kerr,
yeah, for him.
But that's like what I said last week about Derek Fisher and his DUI, and if he was still the coach of the Knicks, what an embarrassment that would have been to the organization.
Well,
not really. I mean, it's an organization of embarrassment. That would have just been the latest chapter.
The Knicks would have been. They would have had excuses, I'm sure. Anyway, we're going to take a break right now. We're going to talk Mets and Yankees because the Yankees are in first. The Mets actually did good this week.
How about those Yankees?
We'll talk about that when we get back. You're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. Also streaming at ncc.edu/WHPC and also on the TuneIn app.
Success, noun, the fact of getting or receiving wealth, respect, or fame.
Succeed, verb, to do what you are trying to do. Success story. Noun. A successful person or thing, such as someone or